Let me tell you a story about a real home buyer. We'll call her Sarah. Sarah had been saving money for years. She sacrificed nights out, cut back on weekend trips, cooked at home so much she forgot what a restaurant menu looked like, and spent dozens of weekends dragging herself to open houses. She looked at houses with layouts so bizarre she wondered what the architect was smoking while designing the house. She looked at houses so terribly decorated that she wondered if a 3-year-old decorated it. She looked at homes wildly over her budget, and homes where the online photos were so heavily filtered, the owners and their realtor should be charged with catfishing. Then, finally, she walked into a place, looked around the kitchen, stepped out into the backyard, and she just knew. This is the one. She made an offer, the seller accepted, and suddenly she was floating on cloud nine. Sarah was about to buy her very first home. So she pulled out her phone, went online, found one of those massive corporate lenders with the slick celebrity TV commercials and the fancy mobile app, uploaded her basic info, and sat back waiting for the seller to show up at closing with the keys. Sarah was already mentally arranging her furniture, picking out paint colors, and telling her family and friends about the move. But within 48 hours of starting her application, her loan officer at this giant online lender started blowing up her inbox like a regretful ex-boyfriend. First, it was, "Hey Sarah, we need your 2 most recent bank statements." No problem. She logged in, downloaded the PDFs, and uploaded them to the lender right away. 2 days later, "Hey Sarah, page 6 of your checking account statement is missing." Sarah pulled up page 6. It was literally a blank page that just said, in giant letters, "This page intentionally left blank." But the lender didn't care. The lender's AI system demanded page 6, so she had to resend the whole file just so an automated system could see the blank page. 3 days after that, "Sarah, we see a $300 Venmo transfer into your account from 2 months ago. Who is Jen? Is this a loan? We need a signed letter of explanation, a bank statement from Jen showing where her money came from, and proof of transfer." It turned out Jen was her sister, reimbursing her for a weekend Airbnb trip where Jen drank most of the wine. But Sarah had to spend 2 full days tracking down receipts and begging her sister to hand over private financial records just to prove she wasn't running an underground international money laundering syndicate out of her checking account. And then her file hit underwriting. That's when the real grilling began. The underwriter raked her file over the coals. It felt like they weren't trying to approve her loan. It felt like they were looking for reasons to deny the application. They asked for tax schedules she had already submitted 3 times. They questioned normal, everyday life expenses. They even questioned why her credit score dropped 3 measly points when her credit card balance reported on a different day of the month. Now, why do all of these headaches happen? Because common sense was squeezed out of the mortgage industry about 25 years ago, and because the big online lenders operate like an assembly line in a giant mega factory. Most of the big lenders simply do not have the time to teach you about the mortgage process and underwriting guidelines. Your file gets tossed from a call center rep in one state to an offshore document processor in another country to an underwriter who has 50 files piled on their desk and zero connection to you as a human being. They don't look at the big picture. They just blindly tick boxes on a checklist. If something doesn't fit their rigid underwriting guidelines, your file grinds to a screeching halt because they have to move on to the next file in their queue. Sarah found herself sitting at her kitchen table at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, crying out of sheer frustration, scanning W-2s for the 4th time. The excitement of buying her dream home, completely gone, replaced by stomach-churning anxiety. Her worst fear was suddenly a very real possibility. She feared that after all this work, her loan would fall through at the last minute, and she'd lose her appraisal and home inspection money and have to tell her friends and family that her mortgage application was declined. Sarah did eventually close on her house, but when she finally got the keys on closing day, she didn't feel like popping champagne. She felt like she had just survived 10 rounds in a boxing ring with a heavyweight champion. She was exhausted, defeated, and bitter, and she swore a solemn oath right then and there, "I am never, ever going through that mortgage process again." Here is the sad reality. Sarah's story happens every single day across this country. Buying a home should be one of the most exciting and rewarding milestones in your life. It's where you build your future, raise your family, and create long-term wealth. Yet, the process of getting a mortgage frequently turns what should be a victory lap into a bureaucratic obstacle course wrapped in barbed wire. And that is exactly why I created this show. If you have ever felt overwhelmed and scared by the mortgage process, frustrated by endless paperwork demands, confused by loan disclosures, or terrified that one small mistake might wreck your approval, this podcast was built specifically for you. Welcome to Be a Better Borrower. I'm your host, Andy Galliano. I need to get the legal stuff out of the way real quick, and then we will get into the meat and potatoes of the show. I'm a licensed mortgage loan officer in Florida and Alabama. My personal NMLS number is 208486. My company is called Galliano Mortgage Incorporated, and the company is based in Birmingham, Alabama. My company NMLS number is 204149. Now that I've gotten that fun stuff out of the way, to understand why I am so passionate about taking the mystery out of this clunky system, you need to know a little bit about where I'm coming from. I've been in the mortgage industry for over 3 decades, which means I've been doing this long enough to remember when bank statements came on actual paper in the actual mail, final loan applications were typed on typewriters, and a fax machine was a luxury piece of office equipment. Right out of college, back when I was just 24 years old and possessed way more courage than sense, I took a massive leap of faith and founded my own independent mortgage brokerage, Galliano Mortgage Incorporated. Starting a mortgage company at 24 was terrifying, but I did it because even back then I saw how big banks treated borrowers. You weren't a family trying to buy a home. You were a loan file number, a piece of paper on a desk. Over the last 30 plus years, I've guided thousands of families through every type of real estate market imaginable. And let me tell you, I've seen it all. When the Great Recession hit in 2008 and the subprime meltdown crashed the entire global economy, I watched massive mortgage companies collapse overnight like houses of cards. Why? Because they were putting people into terrible loan programs that nobody understood. Navigating my clients through that financial storm taught me a lesson I've carried with me ever since. Transparency and education are everything. When a borrower actually understands their loan structure, they win every single time. I've steered clients through the wild refinancing booms of the late 90s, the crazy low-rate pandemic housing rush, and through today's shifting interest rate environment. I've helped first-time buyers using down payment assistance grants, self-employed business owners with tax returns that look like quantum physics equations, military veterans using zero-down VA loans, and seasoned real estate investors building entire portfolios. Through all those years, one core truth has never changed. The mortgage process does not have to be painful. 90% of the stress, delays, lost paperwork, and last-minute panics don't happen because a borrower has bad credit or no money. They happen simply because nobody explained the rules of the game to the borrower before the borrower started playing. Lenders have their own secret language, their own rigid rules, and their own hidden triggers. When you don't know those rules, you accidentally trip landmines without even realizing it, like moving money between bank accounts the week before closing, changing jobs mid-escrow, or making a huge purchase on credit because you thought you needed a brand new riding lawnmower for your new yard before you even got the keys to the house. My mission with this podcast is simple. I want to hand you the playbook. I want to take my 30 plus years of insider experience, strip away the confusing jargon, and give you the exact strategies you need to walk into the mortgage application like a boss. Before we talk about upcoming episodes, let's bust 3 of the biggest myths that trip up borrowers before they even talk to a lender. Myth number 1, you need a 20% down payment to buy a home. This is completely false. If everyone had to wait until they saved 20% cash, half the country would be renting until they were 80 years old. Millions of buyers put down 3%, 3.5%, or even 0% using VA or USDA loans. Waiting years to save 20% for a down payment often costs you way more in rising home prices than you'd ever save by avoiding mortgage insurance with your 20% down payment. Myth number 2, pre-qualification means you're guaranteed a loan. A pre-qualification is basically a lender saying, hey, based on the numbers you just pinky promised us over the phone, your application looks good. A true pre-approval requires an underwriter to actually verify your financial documents. If you go house hunting with just a pre-qual, you're practically inviting Sarah's nightmare to come live with you. Myth number 3, the rate you see advertised online is the rate you're going to get. Those online interest rates are marketing lures. They're built for hypothetical unicorn borrowers who have an 800 credit score, a 40% down payment, zero debt, and probably a pot of gold in their backyard so they can pay the super high closing costs required to get that low interest rate. Your actual interest rate depends on your specific credit mix, property type, and loan structure. On this podcast, we are going to expose myths like these so you never get caught off guard. Every single week, we are dropping a short, bite-sized episode, right around 15 minutes. We are going to focus on 4 core pillars. Number 1, paperwork and underwriting. Sourcing, how to organize your documents like a pro, accept gift funds from family without starting an audit, and avoid bank statement red flags. Number 2, credit and money management. Understanding mortgage-specific credit scores, DTI ratios, and why that $600 per month shiny new truck payment just slashed your home buying budget by $90,000. Number 3, process and expectations. How to read a loan estimate so you don't pay bogus fees, navigating appraisal gaps, properly shopping for a mortgage, and understanding closing timelines. And number 4, niche loan scenarios, FHA versus conventional, zero down VA loans, USDA rural housing, and bank statement loans for self-employed entrepreneurs. Plus, every month or two, we're going to run special listener Q&A mailbag episodes. Just last week, a buyer asked me, Andy, I'm buying a house next month, but my rental lease is up now. Can I go ahead and deposit my $1,500 security deposit refund check into my checking account so I can use that money for my earnest money? The short answer is yes. But if you deposit that $1,500 check without keeping a copy of your lease termination agreement and the original check stub, an underwriter may flag it as an unverified deposit and freeze your file faster than a computer glitch. On our Q&A episodes, we'll tackle real scenarios just like that from you. Look, this podcast isn't here to give you dry 45-minute lectures on global economics or put you to sleep with interest rate spreadsheets. It is designed to give you fast, practical, actionable advice that you can listen to on your morning commute, at the gym, or while walking the dog. So do yourself and me a favor right now. Hit that follow or subscribe button in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening so you never miss an episode. And if you have a mortgage question, a weird scenario, or even a mortgage horror story of your own that you want featured on an upcoming Q&A episode, send it over. You can email me directly at andy@gallianomtg.com. That's ANDY@GAGLIANOMTG.com. Or visit our website at birminghammortgagecompany.com. All of those direct links are right down in the show notes. Also, feel free to check out the Galliano Mortgage Incorporated YouTube page for lots of informative videos about the home buying process and different mortgage products. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 1 of the Be a Better Borrower podcast. Make sure to tune in next week for episode 2, the Gift Fund Roadmap, how to accept down payment help without delaying your closing. I'm your host, Andy Galliano, and here comes the fun stuff again. My NMLS number is 208486. My company is Galliano Mortgage Incorporated, and the company NMLS number is 204149. Until then, remember, With a little bit of preparation, you can stress less, save time, and be a better borrower. Thanks for listening. See you next week.